Hello everyone, my name is Gianna and I am a true crime junkie. Love it. I love all things true crime. I listen to a ton of true crime podcasts all the time and I just love looking into all the cases. So I figured, why not just look into it on my own and kind of do it more in a way where we're just giving facts. We're looking into factual information. Sometimes we can do, a little bit of our own digging or come up with our own thoughts and ideas about what happened. But today we are going to start with the Sean Daugherty case. Now this one really just goes out to my heart because I was a kid who was very depressed. At his age it was really hard, and if you looked at me you would have thought that I was just a normal, happy, fun kid, and I hid it very well. But this case really gets me because nothing indicates that that day was it, right? He wasn't acting funny. He didn't even know he was going to be home alone that day by himself, watching his little brother. So let's just start with the facts of the case first, or a little background on Sean and who he was and all of those things, and then we will get into kind of the bigger details. So he is Sean Daugherty, and he was found in the backyard by his younger sister, hanging from their swing set on April 14th, unfortunately. He was 12 years old, and they did rule it a suicide. The family is not happy with that. They're not happy with that explanation because they don't believe that's what happened. They were talking about his demeanor the night before. He was talking, he was laughing, he was joking. He was talking to his mom. They had their nightly check-in. He always followed her upstairs, and they did that every night. And he would turn around and say, "I love you guys," every single night. And he would bounce back to his bedroom. His sister did find him. And I got my little notes here. He was one of 4 children. So we're going to get into a little bit of the details of that day, I think, that are important. He came home from school and his mom had to bring his grandmother to the doctor. And so she asked him if he could watch his 2-year-old little brother. He agreed, and he went and watched his little brother. About an hour after he spoke to his mother and really, had done his homework, and those are the things he did in his last moments. He was watching his little brother, he did his homework, he talked to his mom, he started to take out the trash, and about an hour after that is when he was found by his sister. The medical examiner, the ME, did note that there was no depression, there was no anxiety, there was no noted history of that with him. And the police investigation did come up with that he might have been bullied at school. This is a really tough one, right? Because he's so small and he's so little. But I'm going to try and do it the best justice that I can and just kind of stick to those really hard facts of what happened. They did find him hanging from the swing set. He had a bag over his head. His arms were bound by a belt to his body, around his body. And he was wearing his stepfather's clothing with no shoes, and it was noted that they did find his underwear in the parents' bedroom. I don't find that as odd as maybe some others. I have 2 little boys, and there's underwear everywhere. But it is notable that he was 12. He wasn't a small child anymore, and that his underwear was in the bedroom. But the parents are not happy about this. They're not happy about the outcome of this. It is stated by the medical examiner that if the family feels that somebody did kill him, that they can bring forward new evidence to suggest otherwise, other than a suicide. they just want another agency to investigate. They want the spotlight shown on this, and I think that this little 12-year-old boy deserves that, if nothing else. This is a really hard case because it does involve a child. And so speculating is not something that is going to do anybody any good. We can talk about theories, we can talk about what you think happened, but we do need to remember that there are people on the other side of this. There is a family, there are children that are still alive on the other side of this, and there is a little boy whose reputation right now is, or not reputation, but his last moments, his last thought, people that knew him and will think about him will be always connected to the fact that he died by suicide. And so we really want to make sure that that is factual, and it sounds like the parents don't think so. The family doesn't think so. There was no indications. They just got back from getting 2 days before getting passports for a cruise. It seems like he was a happy kid. Now, we can talk about mental health and how that affects children. When I was young, I had a lot of factors that affected into it, especially how things were at school for me. And I never talked to my parents about that, because when I came home, I didn't want it to be about that. I didn't want it to be about how I was being bullied, or, what was being talked about me, and the nasty things that were being said. And when I came home, it was more of I just wanted to escape it. I didn't want, my parents to know and be involved and try and call other parents and all of the things, right? 6th grade is a really hard grade. Everybody's going through a lot of changes, and sometimes those changes aren't great for some of us, and some of them are good, This is also a time when, in this day and age, where bullying doesn't stop at the door when you leave school. Because of social media and all of the things, it just doesn't stop. There's more that happens because of the access that everybody has to each other. When I was younger, like when I came home from school in 6th grade, I got to escape it, and poor Sean didn't. He didn't, and the fact that he didn't know he was going to be home alone didn't give him any time to plan. And I think that's where the family is coming from. There was no time to plan this for him. There was no time to set up, how am I going to do it? What am I going to do? The bag over the head is a very telling sign to me of someone that didn't want to look in somebody's eyes. Sean, if he did do it to himself, and I'm just going off of, so I know that I am speculating a little bit, or kind of going off of details and writing maybe a new narrative, but this is what the family is saying and it wants. They know something else happened to him, and they want to find out what happened. I'm not going to speculate about who did anything, right? So we're just going to speculate about maybe what could have happened alternatively. And that's what the family is looking for. Alternatives to him killing himself. Having the bag over the head. That's a very kind of hiding a very personal part of him. Where Sean in that moment couldn't have been looking at himself. It would be more for somebody standing in front of him not to have to look into his eyes. Having his arms bound, a person, in my opinion, that is going to kill himself is pretty set on that's what they're going to do, and they don't need to have their arms bound to their sides. It just, it seems a little bit like, and I don't even know how you would bind your own arms with a belt that way, like to your side, bind them to your side. It just seems like, I don't know if I could do it. I don't think I could. And then while putting the bag over your head and the rope and then like all of the things, It just seems very kind of odd. I'm sure investigators have answers for all of this. But I'm going to do some more digging. I'm going to look. I just wanted to get this video out and kind of give the facts that I saw and that I knew, and kind of give those to you guys as my first video. So welcome. If you want to hear more, please subscribe to my channel, and I'll be going live and doing videos as much as I possibly can. And I'm happy to be on this journey with you guys, and I hope you come with me. And always remember to have very good frequencies and vibes every single day.